So it's August 6th, 7:45 in the morning. And there's a lot of protests happening around the A-bomb dome that we see on the left here. We're in Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. Anything you noticed as we were going through the protests?
A lot of pressure and tension in the air, I think. Yeah, very interesting to see like such a high pressure August 6th.
A lot of security.
Definitely. Security, police, a lot. So, yeah, I heard earlier they were saying that the get out police, this is not your place and stuff. So, yeah.
And you were born and raised here.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be here for the 80th commemoration?
Feels good to be here. Yeah, but it feels different somehow. Feels like more attention, more focus is put on Hiroshima right now. So I hope, a lot of people are able to think about peace and stop and acknowledge what we have today. Yeah.
Some of the classic trams going through, right?
Yes.
Thank you. That's my son, born and raised in Hiroshima. It's wonderful to be here with him. So, what are the banners that we're seeing out along the river?
They say, beware of heat stroke.
Beware of heat stroke.
Please rehydrate. Take some water frequently.
And then the whole A-bomb dome area is inside the security area. And we want to be here on the bridge. This is the sighting point called the T Bridge. We want to be here for 8:15. This is an interesting place to be. You can see the classic streetcars going up and down the T Bridge. Let me walk by the protests a little bit and then come back. Do you want to come and take photos or video as well? You can see our new football stadium down there. That's another way to negotiate peace, isn't it, with sports?
Peace wing.
The peace wing. So there's a lot of noise down here, but everything's well organized. And of course, people should be enthusiastic about anti-nuclear, and Hiroshima people and people around Japan definitely are. We're at a turning point in Japan right now. Yeah. Do you want to go across to Gate Park and then come back? We're going to walk across to what's now called the Gate Park. During the war, this was where the shrine to the emperor was. And the Torii Gate in front had survived, and they moved it to the castle grounds. But it looks like this is where the monks who are chanting, usually right next to the A-bomb dome, have moved. This is now called the Gate Park, used as an event space. We're walking along the peace line. I asked years ago at one of their breaks what they were chanting for, and they said, we're trying to bring the positive energy from the center of the earth to help humanity make peace. Right on. We need more of that passion for peace. So much respect for groups like this. Another protest group here. And the big open space here used to be the baseball stadium when I first came in '96. And now they repurpose it, have different events, different times of the year. Let's continue on to the end of the peace line. They're playing the music for Radio Taiso. We might see some people out here doing morning exercise. So all of these trees along here are cherry blossoms. So in April, it's really beautiful as they bloom, but also in autumn. In autumn, it's also quite beautiful as it turns autumn colors. Straight ahead of us. Hey, Aro, great to see you. Yes, it's Atsui for sure. Very hot today, but nice and cool in the morning. Hey, Louise, great to see you. This straight ahead, we're looking at a concert hall. Can you guess what the roof of the concert hall is supposed to look like? Samurai helmet, kabuto. I saw Oasis there many years ago. But this is the peace line that we're standing on. And you can see some of the stones that survived, or that are A-bomb stones that they reused as part of the design. So the protest that we passed is a Free Gaza Palestine support protest. And I was reading in the newspaper today how Israel and Russia were both invited this year to Hiroshima and Nagasaki commemorations. Nagasaki did not invite Israel last year or Russia, but it's nice to hear of everyone being invited as a chance to discuss and negotiate peace. If you're not at the table, you have no chance to negotiate peace. So there's a good argument for diplomacy in inclusion. So I'm going to walk through the fray again in a few minutes and start heading over to the bridge that we can see just off onto the right. Actually, I might choose a quieter route and go past the A-bomb survivor tree and head to the bridge that way. And then loop around. Sorry for the cough. I've caught a bit of a cold. Apologies for the rough voice. Great to have you together with me this morning. It's hard to see the screen a little bit, but I'll try as much as possible to answer any questions or comments. It's amazing when you get a bit further away from all the noise. I'll just say a happy good morning to all of you. Thanks for joining. So JJ Walsh here in Hiroshima, and I've lived here since 1996, and that was a really significant year that we came because that was when the A-bomb dome was designated as World Heritage Site, and also the floating torii in Miyajima, designated World Heritage. As you can see, it's quite warm this morning, but the weather is quite good, and that is very reminiscent. I can't think of that word right now. It's very connected to the Hiroshima story because a lot of survivors on August 6th also looked up and saw the good weather and thought it was going to be a good day. But when they went out to work in school, of course, it was a horrific day. And that was the reason Hiroshima was chosen. As the bombers came over from Tinian Island 12 hours away, they didn't know which site was going to be bombed. They had 3 sites potentially in mind: Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and Kokura. I think it was Kokura. And Nagasaki and Kokura was cloudy that day. Hiroshima was clear. And so Hiroshima was designated to be the first site of the bombing. Hiroshima had a long legacy of military. And so it was on the top of the list for many reasons. Historically, this area was used by the military for a long time. As we near 8 o'clock now, it's getting more and more loud. Let's go to the right. We'll see the riverside a little bit, and one of the most beautiful A-bomb survivor trees, one of the closest to where the bomb exploded. The bomb exploded 600 meters in the sky above the Orizuru Tower there, the new facility to promote Hiroshima tourism and Hiroshima products. And there is a willow to the right here, just behind the park, and the Children's Museum and the Children's Library with the planetarium at the top. My kids growing up here like to play. River that we'll see in a minute, where on washi paper and floats these beautiful lanterns up in. So here is the closest A-bomb survivor tree. And here, on the tree, you can see the plaque where it says the kind of tree. This is a willow, and how far from the epicenter, from where the bomb exploded. 370 meters only. So it was the closest tree to survive the bombing, that they could also rebuild their lives here. There are 150 of those A-bomb survivor trees designated in the 2-kilometer blast area from this center where the bomb exploded all the way out to the mountain range. And those trees are just amazing to see. Sometimes I just go and hang out next to these organizations, the UNITAR, United Nations office here for the Asian region. They have a project called Green Legacy Hiroshima, and they certify all these survivor trees. They also collect seeds and saplings and send them around the world to places trying to rebuild after war. You can see the Free Gaza protest group waiting there. A bit of calm as we're next to the T-bridge on the other side here from the Peace Park. Ohayou gozaimasu. Good morning. Ohayou. Kawaii. Namae wa? Mon. Hello, Mon. Good morning. Atsui ne street. Actually, let's go across the other side. Well, actually, it's gotten a lot quieter. Be interesting to see what's happening. Hey, Wayne, good to see ya. So there's usually right-wing as well as left-wing groups here protesting each side. But that shows a healthy democracy, that we can be in the same place and disagree. Our famous trams right here next to the Peace Park, bringing a lot of visitors today. A lot of people handing out flyers. So the flyer says, condemn new world war, a new nuclear war. A lot of peace activists are talking about the transition Japan is in now from a country focused on peace and anti-nuclear to thinking more about accepting nuclear. So there's a really important year to consider the changes. Definitely a lot of police There's always a lot of riot police, but this year especially, we've got a really big presence in Hiroshima today with all of you. Usually these commemorations get 50,000 people a day for the day and night. I'm sure it's probably a bit more this year. Hey, you're born and raised in Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Any comments? You've been here many times for these events.
I actually haven't been here many times for the event. Yeah. Like, it's less common for, I think, people living here to come, so
But
I'm very happy I'm here today.
But you've worked also with peace tourism, and can you tell us a little bit about it?
I'm lucky to have had the chance to work a lot with peace and with organizations, or with PCV I did some tours to Japanese kids living in Japan, or one time I did to English-speaking people from abroad, so having those chances was really lucky for me. And I think if I were to, since I've heard lots of stories from many hibakusha, like us, the most recent hibakusha I talked to, and her message, Tanaka Toshiko, was more about how, in her perspective, and in reality, there are no borders on the world if you look up from the sky. And nuclear weapons, the use of them, doesn't only affect one country, it affects the whole world. So we need to make a world without borders so that we can understand that everything affects everyone. And I thought that was really important. So that would be one of the messages I think I would pass on.
Ah, that's awesome. And you just did a tour, a peace tour in the city the other day, right? The clock tower, right? It chimes every morning at 8:15, the time of the bomb. And that's why we're here on this bridge, because this was the sighting point, right?
Yeah, the bomb dropped around behind the atomic bomb dome right now, on top of a hospital called Shima Hospital. It exploded 600 meters in the air. So from here, you could probably see it drop, right?
Yeah.
If you were here at that time.
And so a lot of people will be gathering here at 8:15 on this bridge and looking up, with the idea that looking up on that day, they would have been able to see it, right? And even on a normal day, when I've been here, when the clock tower chimes, people do stop and have a moment, right? So a lot of people think the bomb exploded right above the A-bomb dome, as it's called now, but it was about 2 blocks behind it. But the A-bomb dome is really impressive because of its structure and the dome shape. A lot of engineers on my tours often say they're not that surprised the dome shape survived, because the dome is the strongest shape in architecture. But it's incredible, isn't it, that it really did stay intact. When you see the pictures of this area, it's all rubble besides the A-bomb dome. And then the orange building on the other side of the river, down to the right, is also a survivor building.
Behind the trees, yeah. A man named Enzo, at the time when the bomb dropped, was in the basement of the building there. And it used to be a kimono shop. And they made kimono there. And he was in the basement, and when the bomb dropped, like, all the glass shattered around him, and he was like, he got glass in his skin, but he survived, although like all the people around him were dead. And yeah, that's one of the stories.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. How he was having a meeting with everybody at the top floor. He forgot some paperwork.
Oh, that's the story.
And he looked at the secretary. She looked busy, so he went down to the basement. And because he was under so much concrete, he was able to survive, even being here so close to where the bomb exploded. most people in this immediate area had no chance, right? So it's incredible he survived. But his story, he talks a lot about survivor guilt.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, okay. He talks a lot about survivor guilt, which I see when I go to Pearl Harbor. All the sailors having all the guilt. It's so common, right? But he said once he realized it's his duty to tell the story because he did survive, right?
Yeah, that's what Tanaka Toshiko said too. Shita, which was 2.3 kilometers away, that was the only reason that she survived. And all her kindergarten classmates all died. So she didn't talk about how she survived because she felt that she didn't want to, because it's like, oh hey, I survived and you didn't. So that's why she didn't talk about it for years. But in her 70s, someone told her that as a survivor you have responsibility, or like you need to talk about it so it doesn't happen again. And with that, she started talking about her story, and like it's spreading the word now. So that's very similar.
That's amazing. I'm always, I have so much gratitude and so much respect for survivors who are able to tell their story, because even now, 80 years later, it must be so painful, right? And of course, we completely understand when survivors can't tell the story, that it's still too painful. And we understand that as well, right? All right, we got 2 more minutes until the time of 8:15. Wayne Gee is talking about interesting account from John Hershey, his book Hiroshima. That was the first book published in America in the 50s, which really had such a profound effect on Americans and more deeply understanding what had happened here to real people, that it wasn't just a military target, right? So that was a really pivotal book. And I heard John Hershey's son, John Hershey's son has visited. Got 1 more minute, so we're gonna be quiet, and then when the clock chimes, we'll observe the minute of silence. I didn't see the birds. They usually release thousands of birds at the main memorial area, the cenotaph, where they're having the main event. They usually release thousands of birds. I didn't see that. There wasn't complete silence. Usually at the time of 8:15, the time the bomb dropped, there's complete silence, even by the protesters. But this year they continued. That was very unusual. But being here on the bridge was really powerful at 8:15. And the idea of looking up into the sky and imagining the bomb being dropped above. I'm going to walk around a little bit. Thank you for sharing all your insights. That was great. They were, I think they might be documenting, taking photos somewhere else. I'm glad you could meet. Do you ever talk about the elementary school there? Oh, there you are. The rest of the family. Any impressions you want to share?
They were still protesting. Ne, yokunai ne. It's not good.
I've heard that.
Really? Ah, okay. Yeah, it's not good. I don't think. What do you think?
良くないと思う。
My feeling. I don't know.
Can you tell a little bit about doing peace education?
Peace education.
Remember?
Yeah. I mean, in the peace here, and
Stories that you tell around
So,
the or anything?
well, yeah. I mean, apparently kids used to play in the former atomic bomb dome, so the trading where multiple cultures would bring their products and were and it was a real place of connection, and you think it's very powerful, and I feel like there's a deeper meaning behind this being preserved as well, because there's a lot of other buildings that were survived the bomb, but they got rid of. So at least this one's here right now to tell us we really shouldn't repeat and use atomic bombs, and we really should try to phase it out of our world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. It's so wonderful having my kids here today and them having grown up in Hiroshima. They have such amazing insights, having grown up American and British here in Hiroshima, feeling like they're a local, of course, but not being completely. But they've always been accepted, which I'm very grateful for. That idea of the A-bomb dome being preserved or not was a big debate. Even in 1996 when we came, there was still discussion whether to preserve it or not. But once it was designated UNESCO World Heritage Site, and then the gate around it went up, and the support beams went inside, and a lot of us, well, most of us in the world, I think, had a sigh of relief that it would be preserved for future generations, so people coming would be able to see it for themselves. Such an important monument. I met the director of UNITAR years ago, Azimi Nasreen, and she worked in the UNITAR office. Job, she said, was to bring people to negotiate peace in seminars and workshops, and she would book their hotels on the other side of the Peace Park, so they had to walk through the Peace Park before the meetings. And then she would sit them at the window overlooking this A-bomb dome, and she said, you can never underestimate the power of this place and how important it is to impress upon people the need to negotiate forward. So definitely so many arguments in favor of preserving this building. Apparently there were a lot of wonderful letters from young activists, peace activists in Hiroshima, which also swayed the UNESCO organization to preserve it, but also the national government to preserve it. Let's walk toward the clock tower a little bit. Now on the right side here, you do see the elementary school, Honkawa Elementary School. And it was an elementary school at the time, and only one student survived. All the teachers and students died. The student that survived was under concrete. That is a common story in this immediate blast zone area. If someone was under enough concrete, they did have a chance to survive, which is just incredible. It looks like I can walk through this part of the Peace Park a little bit. I'll see if I can show some of the beautiful cranes that they have hanging here next to the riverside. And this is the side where a lot of people will be standing in line to release their lanterns in the evening. Oh, this is another checkpoint. But it looks like I can go and see the cranes here before the checkpoint. And then later in the day, I'll try to do some short video. Hi, Ari! Now, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. How are you?
This is Ari Bezer.
Beezer.
Sorry.
You're good.
Hi, I'm Mommy. Hi, and Ari, you've written so many wonderful articles.
Thank you so much.
About Hiroshima and survivors.
Yeah.
Any comment being here today?
Yeah, we're filming now for a news program. Just spend a moment of silence and solemn solitude with everybody that was here on this day 80 years ago. So thank you for your question and attention to this matter. Nuclear war has never been likelier, so we definitely have to do something to prevent that.
Thank you so much for coming and helping spread the,
nice to know your
the good word. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Ari Beezer has written many wonderful articles for National Geographic about survivor stories. You can search his name. His grandfather, I'm looking up at the clock tower here, his grandfather was on the plane, was on the Enola Gay that dropped the bomb, and he grew up becoming a journalist and really engaged in what was happening, and came over on a Rhodes Scholar and wrote so many beautiful articles and stories. He's very focused on peace in his writing and journalism still. It looks like I'll have to go through the checkpoint before I can get to this area. But the line is not too long, but I might sign off and then I'll do some short videos and things a bit later as I go throughout the day. But I'm so glad you could join us.
There's like a map of the world, but there's no borders on it. That's what I know about it.
And the idea is to stand on the stepping stone and look at the front of the bell, which is supposed to look like a mirror. Can you live a life more peaceful? Because if we have war, we are all connected, right? And then the back of the bell where you strike the bell is actually the nuclear symbol. And water lilies that are in the water blooming. Yeah, it looks like the transmission is unstable. So I'll sign off now. And then I'll try to add some video and shorts later on. So check out the channel. Thank you so much for joining. Wonderful to have you here today with me live, Wayne and Louise. Hopefully see you again live soon. Thanks, everyone. Take care.